There's a guy I know that I've become friends with in New York.
And he's a gypsy.
And he creates experiences. And when I say creates experiences, I cannot do it justice of what he is capable of and what he has put together for people. He has a couple of other things that he does, but he's just this sort of creative genius. That's the best way I can explain him. Did you ever see the movie The Game? Do you remember that movie? With Sean Penn and...
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With the guy, they just kind of create this guy's life experience, but it's all, the whole thing is planned and he doesn't know it.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that, where you just don't know what's coming, right?
Oh, and you were a part of it.
No, I said he was doing this huge project overseas that he'd been working on for like a year. Some crazy experience that, you know, who knows? There's no...
For somebody or just...
For somebody. And
Did they pay him a lot of money?
Family, yes.
So it's a real rich guy.
Yes.
It's always a guy, too.
But he doesn't always... Not everything he does is outrageously expensive. He works within whatever you want to do. So,
okay.
I went to his place in New York the last time I visited, and we were just talking about other stuff. We're both fans of rare whiskeys, and I said, would you consider doing something from my office, because we have a holiday thing every year, but I'm kind of running out of ideas, and you know, I don't want everyone to go bowling or go, you know, we just kind of do random stuff together. Yeah. And he's like, oh, let me think about it. I don't know if I have time. And then he came out here in September. He's just like, what can we work with? And I said, well, I'd like to do something that is relatively close, but if we have to drive a little bit, that's fine. Mm-hmm. And those are the only parameters I give him. I don't know what what he's planning, right? And my office knows even less. Yeah. And so
I noticed that your office was there too, and I was like, what is going on?
So we have our weekly meeting, and everyone's there, and then it was like there were all these gifts on the desk, which was not the usual like holiday gift exchange. They're already there. Yeah. And so I get instructions like open the gifts. So we open the gifts. There's like a shovel, a pickaxe, a first aid kit. There's a locked briefcase, just random stuff. Yeah. And a set of keys. Yeah. And we look outside, and there's this passenger van. Yeah. And then I just get a location. Yeah. Go here. So we all get in the passenger van with all the gear. Yeah. And then I drive out to the desert. Wow. To this gas station.
He'd be good. I'd like to take his advice. Like if I had a girlfriend or whatever, he could make me very romantic.
He told me he created an experience for some big hip hop artist. I'm not sure who or who it was at all, but he said that he created this whole experience because he wanted to apologize or make up to his girlfriend or significant other, and at every turn she had to make a choice, and he had to be prepared for whichever choice she went with. So he had all these different scenarios, but it's like A or B. Okay, A, we're going with A. Everyone get ready over here, because he hires a whole crew to do whatever. I know I'm being vague, but I don't, because I don't really know.
No matter what one she chooses, does it always add up to like?
It's going to end somewhere in the same scenario.
Okay,
and whatever it was,
like,
it was
you could
successful.
leave now, and then she leaves.
Whatever it was successful.
Right.
So
girls love that, Tony.
We meet him. Yeah, everyone. There was some funny moments, but we meet him, and then we had this whole thing where we created this really elaborate drink in this giant bottle, and we corked it, and then we just start driving out to the desert, and we are driving. I mean, signs are like no motorized vehicles past this point. Government property. This guy goes rogue.
Yeah. It really was. You really weren't supposed to be there.
No.
But he had made you go out there.
Yeah, but you're jumping ahead of how this all went down.
Sorry.
So then he stops along the way, and we're following him. He stops along the way, and he's like, if anyone, feels uncomfortable or has any issues, just hit me up. Like check in with me, because I'm here. I'm not trying to make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then we go around this corner, and I see this white umbrella off in the distance, and I'm like, that's kind of on brand because he's very like old timey vibe.
Okay.
And we pull around the corner, and there's a train that he has created.
And train tracks.
No, the train tracks are there.
Oh, okay. Because they look like. Do they go anywhere?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
A train goes on that from time to time?
According to him, he researched it and no.
Right.
But I have a story about that too.
Okay.
So he's made this train and fabricated it out of. I mean, he like hired a welder, and he bought he bought the wheels from an abandoned train.
Yeah.
There was an abandoned school bus in the area. He pulled the seats out of it. He made seats.
Dude. Next level.
He bought a piano, made that one of the cars.
Attached it to. I saw that.
And then a pianist was there to play music. He's got a bar cart. He's making drinks in one bar cart. And then we just go off into the desert on a train.
Well, a guy
he made
plays piano and people give you drinks.
Yeah.
To nowhere.
We don't know where we're going.
Do you end up going somewhere, or do you just go back?
Oh, and then it derailed.
On purpose?
No.
Ooh.
But then he's got his crew. He's got one car with all the gear.
Yeah.
So he's got his crew. They come. They swap out one wheel, fix one of the bolts.
Yeah.
We're all just hanging out, drinking playing,
listening to piano.
Back on the tracks. We go off. Then we stop and we go bury this bottle that we made a pact about. If one of us passes away, like we're gonna go find the bottle and share it. Whoever else is there.
That's sad.
The whole thing. Yeah, but I mean, it was something like it was a bonding moment.
Right, death can do that.
We created that scenario. He didn't say like you have to do this. Anyway, that one that's just a side note.
Okay.
So then we keep going, and I mean, it's lawless, and it feels kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
You didn't shoot anybody or anything, did you?
No. But I just mean like that we're just going off into nowhere.
Yeah.
And then the sun starts to go down, and we pull up to this water tower, and he has set up this whole sort of buffet, like snacks.
Yeah.
Scenario. A bunch of fur coats if you're cold.
Yeah.
Like, not fur coats, but faux fur.
Yeah.
And then this mariachi band comes from around the bin and starts playing punk.
Guns N' Roses and Faith No More.
And
I was like, man, when I saw that, I was like, this is the greatest band ever.
This was the cool part for me because I used a song in a social media edit a couple years ago. So by the way, I don't know any of this is going to happen. I just let him go with it.
Yeah.
Right. So all of this is just the experience is coming at us.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what to expect.
So cool.
And when the band started playing Iron Maiden, I was like, I swear I used their song for an edit I did. And I thought that at first they're called Metalachi.
Makes sense.
And I wanted to ask them right when they started playing. I was like, are you guys Metalachi? But then I didn't want to insult them if they're a band that does a similar thing to Metalachi. You know what I mean? Or Metalachi copied them. So I was kind of caught up. And then they started playing Iron Maiden. I was like, oh, that's the song I used. I was like, you guys are Metalachi. And they're like, yeah.
Oh, they were pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they played a whole set. And then after their first set, all of our spouses arrived.
Wait, they weren't with you?
No.
They're not a part of this.
They didn't.
They
know they
don't get to be a part of that.
We didn't know they were coming.
Oh.
They just showed up in the desert at sunset to Metalachi. And then the train was kind of
falling apart.
No, it was having trouble because there were so many cars, and it was heavy for the brakes because we had been going uphill the whole time, so we had to go downhill.
Wait, there's an engine in it. It's an actual train.
Yeah,
I thought you were doing caboose style.
No. It was.
I don't know. That is not a good look.
There was electric. There was an electric engine on the front, and there was a gas engine on the caboose.
Oh, okay.
But he hadn't turned on the gas engine, so he just took the caboose car, and then we all piled on top of the caboose car, all of us, and then we went downhill, back to where we got picked up, or back to where we got dropped off.
Yeah.
And then he he had rented a whole hot springs hotel.
Because that was the next question. Where do you stay when you're out in the middle of nowhere?
At a hot springs hotel.
Because there is one there.
Yeah, it's nice.
There's a really nice hotel.
And they have dinner ready for us.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they have dinner ready for us, and then they have a bar, and then he's hired a blues band for the bar for us. It was crazy.
Like when this show, because we're obviously going to be huge now that we're here, and the money starts coming in, and then I find a girl that likes me, I'm going to hit him up.
You're going to hire him.
And then I'm going to bury me in the, I'm going to give her a shovel, and then she's going to dig me up, and I come flying out.
I mean, I got to talk to him at the end. And he was a little he was a little apologetic because it derailed and it took a little. There was a delay.
Whatever.
But I mean, that was part of the experience.
I know.
But I was like, I don't care. You made a train.
Amazing.
You made a train.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The band itself, when I saw that, I was like, dude, I would drive 4 hours to see those guys play in the desert. That was badass.
They play pretty big venues. They do tours and stuff.
It makes sense because they were really good.
Yeah, and they were a little. They're playing to a group of 12, but